So one of the first things my master ever said to me was, if you're not managing your energy, who is?
That's unexpected. I must say, you fight well.
Now put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Good afternoon, this is Lucky Lynx. I'm continuing this conversation that we've been having about a magical war, and I'd like to speak in terms of a smaller day-to-day experience that that people may be having. I'm going to tell you. I'll tell you a quick story. There was a woman I knew who had a daughter, and she and her daughter had an estranged relationship. It was a very toxic relationship. The mother was a very toxic individual, and the daughter walked away and didn't really want to be part of it anymore. And as the daughter walked away and started succeeding on her own, the mother started going to church, a Catholic church, and lighting candles for the daughter to come back. Now, the mother wasn't willing in any way to change her behavior. She wasn't. She didn't see any problem with her own behavior or the way that she spoke to her daughter. And the way she spoke to her daughter was kind of horrifying. And the two of them did not get along. And the daughter said, "Look, I need to get away from this so that I can approach this with more compassion, and then maybe then I can speak to you." But the mother didn't. She said, "Well, it's all your fault. It's all your fault. You're all your fault." And which is funny for a parent to say that to a child, because the parent raised the child. So, in that case, the relationship took two people, and the daughter was wanting to fix things in her life and to fix things in her mental attitude, and the mother was going to church lighting candles. Now, think about that for a minute. I want you to, because we're going to expand this idea a little more. So she was actually going to a church, and she was actually lighting candles to force the daughters to behave the way that she wanted her to behave. Not, oh, I want to change my behavior because according to her, it's all your fault. And the daughter even suggested, well, do you want to get therapy? To go, no, if anyone needs therapy, it's you, So, but she was lighting candles to try to force the daughter. So she didn't want to change anything about herself, but she was lighting candles to try to force the daughter to make changes. Two people go for a job interview, all right? One's doing magic, one's praying. Another one's just trying to get the job interview. What's happening in that situation? What's controlling the outcome? I want you to think about this, okay? A man owns a business, and he's asking for, invoking, and praying for profit. All he wants is profit. I want my business to succeed. I want profit. He's not necessarily praying for or invoking or asking or doing magic for his company necessarily to succeed. He's praying for profit. At what expense, and how does that affect his workers? Someone wants your attention. They like you, you're in a relationship with someone else, they start praying for you to break up with that person so that you can pay attention to them. All day long, there are things like this going on in your world, whether you realize it or not. You may be walking down the street, you may look a certain way. Someone may wish harm on you or success on you, depending upon what they see relating to themselves and their mind and what's going on in their philosophy of the world. One of the first things my master ever said to me that made me interested in exploring Bon, Tibetan Bon, was if you are not managing your energy, who is? The truth of the matter is, all day long, people are making invocations, wishes, and prayers that put you in a position where you're at a disadvantage. How does that affect your world? How does that affect your outcomes? If two people are praying for the same job or doing magic for the same job or whatever, they're praying for or wishing for you to fail. How does that affect things? If someone who owns a company is praying for their profits, they want more and more and more and more profits, and they're constantly amassing, what does that do to your life? They're not necessarily praying for your health, your well-being, they want profits in this particular case. Now, I'm not saying that this is what happens in every case. I'm saying in these cases, how does that affect you, your world, and the world around you? Someone is praying for more profits and they grab a huge chunk of natural resources and they get it. How is magic, how is invocation, how is this stuff backing up people's actions? What kinds of beings do you think come in these situations to support that? How does it affect your life? Remember the woman who was praying for her daughter or lighting candles. She was essentially trying to do magic to force the daughter to come back and be in this toxic relationship and behave the way the mother wanted her to behave. And in that particular case, that church supported it. Think about these things. I would like to continue this conversation on a magical war. And in this particular case, I want you to think about how the day-to-day stuff or people's invocations may be coming into play and affecting your life. And the reason is why it's so important for you to be taking control of your life, your mind, your energy. And what people don't understand is we in the Tibetan Bond, we're constantly people come to us. They're like, hey, I have this obstacle in my life. Can you remove it? There are things we can do very simply, very easily to remove those obstacles, to get those things out of the way. So I'm telling you that there's stuff going on all day long that you may not even be aware of, that may put you in a position where you didn't necessarily have any control over the situation. And this is a scary thought for a lot of people because they like to think that they're in control. So people have been responding very interestingly to this stuff. So I would like for you to put your impressions, your questions, your comments in the comment section below, please, and we will continue this conversation. But this is if you're not managing your energy, who is? And how big does this get? I'm talking about this on a small level now, but how big does it get? So if two people are, or this person, well, what if there's a group of people wanting an outcome? How does that affect you in your life? What do you think might be behind it? Hey, if you would like to get a reading from me, 779-302-8009 or conjurehope@gmail.com. If you want to learn how to read the crystal ball, I've got a class in how to read the crystal ball, a virtual class that you can get into. I've got one in how to read the tarot, a basic one, and an intermediate to advanced one. I've got two on Lenormand. I've got a basic Lenormand class, and I've got one in how to read the Lenormand Grand Tableau. I have got a class in how to read the Mexican Loteria and how to read playing cards. If you would like to take a class, one of my virtual classes, well then, contact me, 779-302-8009 or conjurehope@gmail.com, and I'll tell you all the details on how to get in to one of these classes. Hey, if there's an obstacle in your life you would like me to help remove, contact me. I can do that as well. Or something else that you'd like to bring into being. It is traditionally what we in the Tibetan Bond do as part of our services. So if there's something that you're interested in contacting me about, contact me. And hey, if you like these videos, they're making you think, and you want to donate to help keep them coming, well then I would be very appreciative. I'm going to put my PayPal, my Venmo below, and I really appreciate all the donations that you guys have made so far. Thank you so much for all of you who have donated. So remember, if you are not managing your mind, who is?